the 40 days of purposeful living, and which is the 2024 purpose driven planning or purpose planning. So you're welcome. For those of you who are on YouTube, you're welcome. Those on the Zoom too are welcome. So we're just going to delve in straight to what we've been doing, and I want to share how the 40 days has been for me. But before that, let's say a word of prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you so much for all the things that you're doing in our lives in the moment. We appreciate you, Lord. We appreciate your kindness, your goodness towards us, for every single day on this 40-day journey that you were with us, you have been with us, and we would not cease to give you your praise and adoration because you indeed deserve it. And so even as we go into our purpose planning for the year and beyond, we are asking that let your grace, your favor, and your mercy be with us throughout the journey. In Jesus' name, amen. So welcome again to everyone who is joining the live. I trust that it will be helpful to anyone, and so for many of us that was what we did on today's in the past 40 days, and how we intend. We were to ask ourselves, what on earth throughout the journey. I didn't have to lose sight of the fact that it didn't have to surround only the kind of worldly things I thought purpose should be about. But most importantly, what it was for me was that I began to rather do some introspection into how I have very enlightened, because the thing that purpose seemed like them something in ourselves to where it becomes our purpose. And so I want to assure us that on this journey of having or living a purpose-driven life, it's going to take some turns, some twists, and it is okay that those things are happening. But it does not change the fact that you are still living purposefully. The only thing is that you may not be living your life in fullness of the purpose that the Lord created you. So one will ask, what then is my purpose? Now, I need us to understand that there are 5 purposes that the Lord has for every human being. And we learned that throughout the book. Every single week we tackled a particular purpose. And in doing that, we got to know certain things about ourselves. So what are the 5 purposes of life? So the 5 purposes are: 1, that we are planned for God's pleasure. 2, that we are formed for God's family. 3, that we were created to become like Christ. And 4, that we were shaped for serving God. And 5, that we were made for a mission. Those are the 5 purposes of your life. Is to know that 1, you were created or you were planned in the mind of God's pleasure. And 2, you were formed. When God formed you, He formed you with the intention of having you to serve Him. And then 5, He made you for a mission. And so these are the 5 purposes of our lives. Now, each purpose was discussed throughout the week, or the weeks that we did the purpose driven life. So anyone that will want to go in deeper into all these things, I would entreat you to get the book and then be able to go through that process. Now, before we delve into today's planning, one thing that I want to bring to our attention are some 5 questions that I need you to write down. So what are these questions? Question number 1: what will be the center of my life? At the end of this video, I'm believing God to help us, answer these questions. So question number 1 is, what will be the center of my life? And question 2 will be, what will be the character of my life? Question number 3, what will be the contribution of my life? Question number 4, what will be the communication of my life? And question number 5, what will be the commitment of my life? I take it again. Question number 1, what will be the center of my life? Question 2, what will be the character of my life? Question 3, what will be the contribution of my life? Question 4, what will be the communication of my life? And question 5, what will be the community of my life? So by the time we are done with today's Purposeful Living Challenge, purpose planning, you should be able to answer these 5 questions. Now, you need to understand also that these 5 questions are also linked to the very 5 purposes of our life, as I had earlier on stated. Now, one thing that I also want to draw our attention to is the fact that just because I mentioned certain 5 purposes of your life does not mean that every other aspect of your life doesn't matter. I take it again. It does not mean that every aspect of your life does not matter. Please note this. The 5 purposes that the Lord has for mankind, although they are categorized under 5 main themes, which is God's pleasure, God's family, becoming like Christ, serving God, and mission, it doesn't take away your 1, your career, 2, the family you are building, 3, marriage or not, single, 4, divorce, all the other things that you can think about that your life revolves around. It does not mean that these 5 purposes that the Lord has for your life cannot be woven into, those areas of your life. And that is the reason why I am doing this purpose planning. And now, with this in mind, that 1, you were made for God's pleasure, then it means that at your workplace, it means in your health, it means in your career, it means in your everyday life, there must be some sort of pleasure that you bring to God by how you live. And so that is for the purpose number 1, that there is a part in your life, or there's a part of your everyday dealings that goes ahead to bring God pleasure. And also that in doing that particular thing, so being a part of a church, being a part of your family, being a part of a certain work group and all that, you understand that you are there as a representative of God's family. And there are other believers that you see at your workplace, at your church, in your family, in your community. So when you take on those people as your brothers and sisters in the Lord, then you know that you were formed to be a part of that family. Now, becoming Christ-like or becoming like Christ, it means that at your workplace, in your everyday life, in your dealings with men, you need to exude the character Christ. And we know that that is the purpose for which Christ came on earth. He came to die so that we can be reconciled to God, but most importantly, that we will live like him, Christ, here on earth, so that other people can testify of the goodness of God by our living. So in your everyday life, then there is a need for you to become Christ-like. And also knowing that you were shaped to serve God, it means that your shape, as we had discussed, I don't remember the day, but in one of the days we discussed, in 2 days we discussed shape, which is SHAPE, which is an acronym for the spiritual gift, your heart, your abilities, your personality, and your experience. This shape, as I have just defined in the various letters, are supposed to come together to show forth how you serve God. So you serve God with your spiritual gifts, you serve mankind. What is your heart towards people? What is the abilities that the Lord has given you? What is your personality? What has been your experiences that has shaped you, that so that you can begin to live life in accordance to what the Lord had planned and purposed for you. And so on that tangent, you understand that even everything about your life should at any point in time be in service of a purpose to God. And finally, the last purpose is that you were made for a mission. So God didn't just create you to come on earth to live and die. He created you. He said, look, you're for my pleasure. You're a part of my family. You're becoming Christ-like as you move every day. And even in your service to me, which is you serving me, in your service to me, I need you to understand that I have a mission for you. And what is that mission? And the mission was to go into the world and make other disciples of Christ unto the Lord. And so today, in today's session of our purposeful planning, it is basically to take these 5 purposes linked up with the 5 greatest questions that we would ask ourselves, coupled with some 4 activities that we need to be doing consistently to be able to live that balance of life. And I like that for day 39 when it talked about the balance in your life, or balancing your life. And I believe that we can start the discussion from there. And now, a few things that I want to also draw our attention to, even as we go into the purpose-driven life, purposeful planning. There are some areas of your life that you need to take accountability for. And what are these areas? So, areas of focus that if you have your pen, I ask that we bring our pens and pencils and a plain sheet, because these are certain areas that we want to deal with. So before you plan something extravagant concerning a vision you have for how your 2024 should go, I want you to take stock of these areas of your life. So the first stock I want you to take is your spiritual life or your Christian walk. What has your spiritual life been? What has your Christian walk been? For me, last year, my friends and I decided to read the Bible like cover to cover, 365 days. I think I was able to do about 300 of those days, or 290 of those days. I don't remember, but it's because I had also read like the other chapters that were left to be read. I had kind of read them, so I couldn't really complete it. But what I can say is that what I took from 2023's Bible reading, or Bible 1 year Bible plan, affected my Christian walk, because I then understood certain context of certain scriptures that were dear to me. So in the whole year of 2023, even though I missed some days, as I consistently read from January 1st all the way through to the 31st December, I realized that I was now picking up the stories in their context. So because I was reading from Genesis to Exodus, when I was reading step by step, although we know that the Bible was not written in that way, when I did that, I understood the context of certain things, and then I began to understand why I shouldn't take certain conversations out, or certain scriptures out of context, lest I misunderstood or misconstrued what the Lord was trying to explain. And again, another area of focus is finance. In 2023, my finances were not too great, but they were not too bad either. It's just that I was not disciplined enough. And so since January 1st up until now, every single day I have kept a record of my spending habits and the things that are constant, money that I'm supposed to be spending, and at the same time to forgive the noise, please. At the same time to have been expenditure weekly. And so that is another area that I want us to focus on, which is the area of finance. Another area that I want us to focus on will be our emotions, regulating our emotions. And for me, I can say that in the year 2023, I was able to regulate my emotions. I wasn't getting angry easily. I wasn't allowing other things affect me as they used. Year 2024, I look forward to the self-discovery emotional regulation program. Relationships can be friendship, romantic relationship, acquaintance relationship, like evaluate. Because I was always in school, and it's not to say that I had not had like opportunity to serve and work. And the only downside was that I was not having how will I say it? I thought I didn't have a career to focus on. So I didn't do anything to build on that until I got called to the bar, and then I had to figure out, is this going to be my job or this is my career? Because now I'm a lawyer. And I mean, that's another area I want us to look at. So if you're 2023, I took my health seriously, doing my regular test and all, but it wasn't to the level that I wanted, because there were certain things that I stopped doing. Like I stopped working out because I was like, I don't want to lose any more weight, and at the same time too had a lot of pains. Another thing that I want us to also, areas that I want us to delve in deeply. I believe that many of us forget that we discuss it loosely, and at the same time too, we always forget that there is more things in action. And I realized that here to try plans or setting goals. As I did that, I got that set years was the fact. Now allow me to explain. I had written on my vision board that I wanted to law school. I have my business logo there. I put a couple of other things there, but they were all sort of like checklists. So I had checked all those lists. Believe you me, as of May 5th, 2023, I had checked off 98% of the things on my list, which I usually do have a 2-year and a 5-year plan. I had ticked I did that. So you can still join in there, so that you can still be in the session. If God is able to do the bigger things and not the other things that I want in my life, so let's just leave it at that. God is able to take you through school, get you to graduate, get you a job, get you and yes, about it. Why do I want to involve God in my health and all those things? And I believe it is one of the reasons why God is having me do this year again, and bringing everyone along with it. So let's continue. In 2024, I need you to understand that when it says write the vision, it is not just one particular place or point. It is all encompassing. Writing the vision has to be every area of your life. So maybe for starters, there are some areas that you want to critically look at, and for me, I've broken them down into 6 areas. Again, let's go. That would be your spiritual life, your finances, emotions or relationship, career being number 4, health being number 5, and then social life being number 6. Now, what I want you to do is to take a pen and a plain paper. So I kind of have like some journal templates that I have printed out. I think I might have to share the PDF. I don't know how I'm going to share the PDF, but if you email me or you send me an Instagram message or message on WhatsApp or Facebook, I'm sure I'll be able to get some of those things or some of these materials to you. Now, in this journal thingy that I have printed, I have another one too that a friend of mine made. So as you can see, creates 2024, which is creating the kind of life that you want for your 2024. And as I was doing, it's like a workbook, so you can actually create it, or you can print work, academics or career, finance or wealth, personal development or fun, which I encompass as social life, and then family. So what you want to do is to take stock of these areas of your life. So these 6 areas that I have just mentioned now, what you are going to do be check. So just do a check-in. Oh, how was my health and my wellness from the year 2023? And so, as I said, for me in 2023, I did a lot of my medicals. I went to the hospital. I made sure I was taking my vitamins and all those things, just so I'll be very healthy. But one thing that I said I didn't do was I wasn't moving around a lot, which means that, as I said, I wasn't doing my exercises and things. So that was the situation. Now, when I'm planning for 2024, what are the 3 things that I want to focus on? So one thing that I realized was that in the year, what's the year again? In the year 2024, one thing I want to do, dental treatment. I know I have nice teeth, so I didn't really care to do much. You just brush your teeth and you go. But there was one thing that the Lord drew my attention to, that yes, you take care of everything, but you have never subscribed to. I have in the past, but I haven't done it consistently. With my eye, because I wear glasses, like every month, every 2-3 months, or every 6 months, I'm getting a new pair of glasses, or I'm checking to see whether my eyesight are getting better. And so those things I do my abdominal checks and all those things. So in the year 2024, when it comes to your health, what is that 3 things that you want to do? We are not going to overwhelm ourselves in 2024 because we are just beginning to plan. But in your health and your wellness, what do you take my feminine health check seriously? So knowing that I have intentions of marrying and giving birth sometime, I don't need to wait until that time before I do my medical checks, before I start to take my supplements and the things that will be beneficial for me. So for me, that is one place that I want to, that's another area of health and wellness that I want to subscribe the dental. Then thirdly, last year I wasn't really overspending, but I wasn't really budgeting and all that, and I was just spending any money that came to hand. So now in 2024, what are the 3 things I want to do? I wanted to start budget 6, almost 7 weeks. It's been amazing. I've restructured my whole spending and even savings. Another thing that I wanted to do is beef up or increase my savings. So I have done that. I mean, with every money that I'm getting, I have increased the amount of money I'm saving. And the target I gave myself last year, it wasn't even really a target, because I knew I was putting some amount of money down in my savings. So let me just mention a random number. So I had said, at least by the end of 2023, I should have like 5,000 CDs that I didn't touch. It could be my emergency fund and all those things. And now in the year 2024, I'm understanding that I brought, quote unquote, that amount from 2023 to 2024. So that is not really the savings target, but that I should have more or an increased savings target or investment target. And that is what I want to do in 2024. In 2024, I want to beef up my savings. I want to learn more about wealth creation, and then like some finance things that should be a constant as I am growing, because very soon I'll have to for adult. As I said, for me, my academics and career, it has always been on my vision board. From age 15, it has always been on my vision board. The courses and things that I wanted to achieve since age 15 till now, as of 2023, I had achieved all of them. Now 2024, moving ahead, masters, PhD, certifications and whatnot, that is where I am looking at. And so in terms of career, I'm looking at certifications that line up with the career that I'll pick. I'm looking at, maybe a master's or a PhD program that will line up with a career or passion or something that I'm doing in my academics. So I need to begin to plan for those things. How am I going to fund it? Where am I going to? Is this the right course to pick, and all those things? These are questions that you need to ask yourself. Now, when it comes to personal development and fun, which I also term as your social life, it means in everything else that you're doing, what is the orientation with it? So let me just restart the Zoom again. Oh, the recording didn't go through. That's so sad. Okay, but there's still YouTube. So what I need us to understand is that even though, just a moment.
Recording in progress.
Yes, so even though things didn't go as I had wanted and all those things, it still didn't stop me in terms of like the social life I want to have. Like, I didn't have a plan for that. I didn't have a plan for the social life at all. In that was last year. I didn't have a plan for the social life. So this year, I haven't put down some activities that I want to do yet, but I have put down some things that I believe can really work well for me.
Recording in progress.
If I decide
Recording
to.
in progress.
I decide.
Recording in progress.
I sorry.
Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
Wow. Okay. So as I was saying, you can just a moment, guys. So yes, as I was saying, on the social or personal development bit, I didn't do anything in the year 2023. I stopped reading. Like, I read, but it wasn't as serious as before. But in 2024, I've decided to go back to my reading in addition to the other things I'm reading in terms of work. So I'm already, like, I mean, we just finished the Purpose Driven Life book, and I'm already on my book 2 of the year or of the month, because I'm thinking to read like twice or 2 books in a month, all things being equal or more. And this is just also to read other areas in my bid to, you know where I am going in life, or where I think my life is headed, some things that I need to know about. And so that's for health and wellness. And then when it comes to family and things, yes, spending more time with family. I mean, there are other areas. I mean, relationships, they haven't been on my radar. And a conversation I had with someone really brought that to mind, that you tend to plan for everything but that. So I'm not necessarily like planning, but you get the drift. I mean, in 2024, the idea or the plan is to really be intentional in that area too. So as I am intentional about other areas of my life, that area of my relationships, emotions, and all those things, I have to be intentional about it. So that is it on, I mean, the areas and how you should go about it. So fundamentally, what we are doing is that you're going to pick 6 to 10 areas of your life, and group them in or under broad topics. So as I said, finances, you are going to write 3 things. Relationship, 3 things. Emotions, 3 things. Family. What I'm limiting it to 3 because sometimes you tend to go overboard when you put more, or you tend to feel overwhelmed when you put more things there. So we're just doing 3. So put down 3 things under each category that we have discussed today. The categories being your health, finances, emotions, relationships, personal development, career, education, or academics, spiritual life, relationships, as in romantic relationships, or if you have a family, your family life. So as a parent, what are the 3 things you're looking forward to in the year 2024, and how you're going to go about it? Now, another thing I need you to understand is that writing the vision, making it plain, and so that he that sees it will run with it, takes another form of action, where you don't just write it on a paper, or write it on a book, or in a book, or write it just anywhere and then you leave it at that. I need you to be intentional, to write it and paste it on your wall, or get a notebook or something and use that to get yourself in that space of, being intentional, that you're seeing the vision. So you're seeing it that, oh, in terms of your career, you're supposed to take a course, so you're supposed to take a Google course, and so you are intentional to say, oh, I have written it down that I wanted to take a Google course next week or tomorrow or whatever it is. So you are taking that course. So please, I need you to please write the vision, and write it really well. Write it on your wall, write it in your phone. Let it be like a screensaver. Look, anything that will help with what you are doing should be what you should be doing. I think I have I've done some mistake with the recording, but anyways, I think I'll just change it to purpose planning so that people can find it on YouTube. 2024. Yes, so I just did the changes. It's supposed to reflect. Yeah, but basically this is it. These are the areas that I want you to focus on. I mean, go to God in prayer concerning them. What is it that you have to do? It's not just because everyone is doing it, so you're also there doing something. So I promise that this live will not be long, so let's just go back to answer the 5 questions that I talked about. So question number 1 is, what will be the center of my life? So before the 40 days of purposeful planning, you know how we sing this song, Jesus are the center of my life, Jesus be the center of my life, from beginning to the end, it would always be, it's always been you, Jesus, Jesus. Yeah. 2023, Jesus was there, but he was not the center. The center for me in the year 2023, and I'm not shy to share, because I believe that sharing it will help a lot of people, but the center of my life in 2023 was, Doretta, get yourself called to the bar. Get yourself a law firm. It was everything law and God by the side, not God being the center. And so I want you to really take that into consideration, even as you go about your life. Don't be so fixated on just your career. Okay? Don't be so fixated on just your career. Like, I mean, this is my career, this is what it is, this is what I'm just going to do. So your life is just centered around those things, and that becomes the center of your life. Please, the center of our life in the year 2024 is God, beginning with God and ending with God. Jesus at the center of our lives. Now, question number 2, what will be the character of my life? So in the year 2023, the character of my life was, I can do it by myself. Self-sufficient. Self-reliant. That was 2023. And thank God for mercy, for showing me that I am not meant to do life alone. That mentality, we are no more doing it in 2024 and beyond. And when I say doing life alone, it comes from a place of thinking that, oh, I have to start this business on my own. I need to get this money on my own. I need to do this on my own. Like, yo, God has given you people. And I thank God for the people He gave me in the year 2023, because moving on into 2024, I have purpose in my life to do life with people. And so far, so great. I knew I wasn't good with finance, so I got a finance person. I was like, hey, yeah, baby, your girl needs help with finances. I'm good with tracking things, but I'm not good with all the finance tools. And so she helped me with it. I realized that I was bad at picking an activity to do for health and wellness. So I called on my friend, Keche. I said, Keche, I have to start playing tennis or swimming. Do something that will help me move my body so that I'll be healthy. You see, so what am I building, or what character am I building in the year 2024? The character I'm building is that I should be dependent or interdependent on others too. Where I do not have strength to do something, I must be able to ask someone who has strength in them. One, I've always been resilient, but today's resilience or the resilience for 2024 has to be more than what I am holding on to right now. So it must go beyond the norm. It must transcend every other thing that I've been doing. You know, it must show forth that I am being a good child. I'm being a good student in my planning. And so yeah, that's what I want to do in the year 2024. Knowing that, oh, as I speak about things, I'm showing my resilience by pursuing and moving forward, and knowing that, oh, Dorita, just keep moving. You can do this, and you know, be comfortable to do those things. Now, another thing that I want to share is that I'm looking so the word is actually dependability. So the dependability is in twofold. That people can depend on me, and that I can also depend on other people. I'm looking to be more kind in the year 2024. Another thing that I'm looking forward to is growing in the fruit of the Spirit. So under question 2 of what your character will be, this is the resource that you need. Go and read on the fruit of the Spirit in Galatians, and also the Beatitudes in Matthew. These two places are the places that you would find which characters you want to exhibit. In this year 2024, I want to show like an exhibition of the fullness of 1 Corinthians 13, which talks about love. And as I keep telling everyone, that God is love. So draw that attention from there, and that God is love, God is, all that. So I want to pick love as a topic, because my word for 2024 is love. And so it means in my character development, I'm looking at building character to be patient, to be kind, to not keep record of wrongs, because I would record it as a lawyer. I will record it. I've forgiven you, but I'll record it. And like evidence, I will refer you to it. And I know that is something that I need to change. And so I'm asking the Lord to help me change. Question number 3, what will be the contributions of my life? So what will be the contributions of your life are the things that you do for humanity and even for God. And that is where SHAPE comes. Remember, SHAPE, our acronym: spiritual gifts, heart, abilities, personality, experiences. So I'm going to pick and note what my spiritual gifts are, and I'm also going to talk on my heart. What is my heart? Like, what are my heart's desires? What are some things I'm passionate about? Like write them down. What are my abilities? What am I good at? Write those things down. What is my personality? Or what has been my personality since 2023 till now? And what has been certain experiences that have shaped my life, which I believe putting all together can be something that serves as a contribution. So for me, Scarred Beautifully is my contribution to humanity and to the things that the Lord wants to do in the earth. Now, question 4 is, what will be the communication of my life? So at the end of the day, like purpose number 5, that you were made for a mission. So for me, I've identified one of my missions. I've created the 2, which is Scarred Beautifully Community. And so what I need you to do is that you need to write a mission statement. So your mission statement would have to be that my life's mission is, I'm supposed to share the good news of the testimony of how God has been in my life. And secondly, another testimony that I need to share is the testimony of the good news of Christ. So I need to share the word of God, and I need to share about my life too. So for me, how my life should communicate are some life lessons I've learned. What are my godly passions? Sharing my testimony, so that at the end of the day, when an unbeliever sees me, my mission to an unbeliever is that when the person hears of the testimony I have about God, the person is encouraged to serve God. When the person hears about the good news of the word of God, the person is eager to know it. And when I share my passion for the things of God, which is doing Scarred Beautifully, talking about scars, helping people see the beauty in their scars, all these things will help that person fulfill that mission. So at the end of the day, that is what I want to communicate with my life. And question 5 is, what will be the communication of my life? So at the end of everything, in answering these 5 questions on our purpose planning, the only thing that you need to understand is that at the end of it all, at the end of your life, what is your mission statement? What is your purpose statement? Your purpose statement will not come in one day. It will not come over the next couple of days. I need you to really sit down and write it out like that. These are some areas of my life that I want to focus on, but this is the mission that the Lord has given me, to share the good news, to share my testimony. What is my purpose? My purpose is to help people come out of the fear that cripples them when they have a scar, and to gain strength from it, just like Jesus Christ, because it's out of the scars that he bore on the cross of Calvary that we can have life. So what are the beauty that people can see in the scars? Embracing it and then letting the story impact. That is my purpose. Now I need a purpose statement. I need a mission statement. So these things are things that, look, it will take a while to do, but believe you me, in it taking a while to do, it does not mean that it cannot be done. It can definitely be done, but it needs for your level of intentionality towards it to get it done. So basically, this is what I wanted to share. If there is more time, or as I am led, I will do a more in-depth planning where maybe I'll take you through point by point and do a vision board of the purpose planning thing. Or when I have done my vision board plan thingy, I can actually take a video and share with you the process that I went through. But basically, you can listen to this over and over again and share with people on what you have learned. This is not a one-day thing. The areas that we say focus on, please focus on them. Maybe other areas too that you need to focus on, you should be able to do so. But essentially, this has been the 40-day Purposeful Living Challenge Purpose Planning session, and I hope that it was a blessing to you. Thank you to those who joined on Zoom. I really appreciate you. And so I think the YouTube live recording will still be on, so you can always go back to listen to it. But in all things, I want you to understand that your life as it is hinged on God's 5 purposes. And you see, reading the 40-day purposeful living, there's one thing that I really loved about it. What I loved most was that I can be myself, Dorita. I can work in where I work or where I worked, and exude Christ, because my contract ended on Wednesday, which was, I think, the last day of the day before our last day of our purpose of the 40-day. So my last day at work was on the 39th day of our challenge. And one thing that I realized, having read the book, was that when I went to my workplace, I really showed the God purpose of my life there, because the people that encountered me said, we are happy and we are excited about how you talked about God and your Christian walk, and how you were always smiling and, always making the place a bit lively. And I was like, wow. So people saw God in me by my action. I wasn't all that perfect, but I tried. Okay. So what I loved about the book is that I could still show God at my workplace, and I didn't have to go and be sitting in church 24/7 to show the godliness or the Christ-likeness that I have in me, or that I feel my life should represent. I didn't have to go and sit in church or some Christian services to show forth that. But one thing that I had to do was to show it at work, and also in my eating, like when I got food and how I got food. Like I said, I was like, oh God, as part of your family, you want to make provision for me. And God did make provision. Another thing that I was fascinated about with the 40 days was the fact that, you see, day 2 will forever remain my favorite. You are not an accident. That was what set up life for me, on knowing that every aspect of my life is for the purpose of God, because I'm not an accident. I'm not an afterthought. I might have been an afterthought to my parents. I may have come as a surprise, because I was born nearly 10 years after my big brother. No, I was born exactly 10 years after my big brother. So I mean, which parent plans to give birth 10 years after having given birth? I don't know, but I came as a surprise, because I was born and another surprise was I was premature. So, but it wasn't an accident. It was so that Dorita, when she is in year 2024, she can talk about the big scar, or the first scar she had, about being premature, and showing to people that you can be premature with all sorts of medical conditions, but you would come back, or you will come out of it. You will come out of it, or you come out on the other side, showing that your scars should not limit you. And that was the beauty of it. God knew that in 2024, I had to read Purpose-Driven Life again, so that when I read the day 2 of You Are Not an Accident, I will understand that the color of my hair, my eye, my father, my mother, where I was born, the office in which I was, the hospital in which I was born, like all these things put together would shape my life, and tell the story of God's goodness and God's favor upon my life, and the purpose that the Lord wants me to achieve in the earth. And so I need you to understand that the 40 days is over, but it is not over. Go back again and read, because for me, that's what I intend to do. And I hope to bring you on the journey, because for the next 20 days, probably beginning Monday, I'm not really sure about it, but I know that I am taking time off, and having myself a 20-day challenge, where I will be taking the topics that we've done in twos. So day 1, day 2, and then I will extensively discuss the questions that were asked. You remember that we had questions to ponder on, verses to remember, and the points to ponder on. But in the journal, there is an extended version of the questions, and also behind the main book of the Purpose-Driven Life book, there are also questions there. So I need you to understand that this thing that we have done, it doesn't just end here. Please, It's about time we took our life literally in our hands. And that means committing it into the hands of the Lord. So you take responsibility for your life, but you commit it to the hands of the Lord, because you now know that, look, I'm responsible for these things, but I have been given the skills, the abilities, the knowledge, the word, the rhema, everything that I need to fulfill life's purpose in the earth. As I've read this book, as the Lord will give you, visions of it. So please, this has been the purpose planning session. I know it's not like the ones that you see where you have to take pictures and do this, because this is an inward work and an outward work action. So the inward work is seeing which areas of your life that you had fallen short. So you analyze those situations, or you analyze the things that happened in the year 2023 in those areas, as against the plan that you have for 2024, and you invite God in. And you should know that as you are writing the vision and making it plain in accordance to Habakkuk, you are also basing those things or factoring in the purposes that God has for you, which is the 5 purposes. 1, that you were created to bring God, or you were created to give God pleasure. You will factor that in. So how do I bring pleasure to God? At my workplace, what character do I need to develop? Like in the question 2 that we have for the 5 greatest questions, what character must I develop that should bring pleasure to God? Is it the character of kindness, because Jesus was kind? Is it the character of service? Is it the character of patience? All these things are intertwined to bring us to a place where we fully live out the purpose that God has for us. So in all humility, please, the 40 days is done, but it is not done. Trust me. I'm sure that when I come back with a 20-day challenge to read through it, you would get a better picture. It's quite unfortunate we didn't have a lot of people joining on the live, but for the first 5 people that are going to contact me, and I'm saying this on YouTube, the first 5 people that are going to contact me after this live, you're going to have the vision board session with me, the practicality of it. And so please do send me a DM on Instagram, on my Facebook, on WhatsApp, in the WhatsApp group, I don't know, anywhere, everywhere that you can connect with me, on my Twitter, not Twitter, TikTok. Yeah, I'm still wrapping my mind around all these things, but anyone, the first 5 people, that is the gifts that I had said it in a group that 5 people were going to get a chance to do that. But also, I'm going to put out a resource, which after I'm done with this, I would go to the YouTube and put the link there. There is the purpose-driven life. A purpose-driven life Bible plan. Sorry guys, my lights just went out, and everywhere has light out, and I don't even know where my stuff are, but sorry guys. So the purpose-driven life Bible plan. So I'm going to put the link in the description because I can't seem to get it on, because my Wi-Fi too is off. So but anyways, the purpose-driven plan, Bible plan, I would put it up in there. So, well, thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate you, and I hope that we would meet again on the 20 days journey or anything else. So do have a blessed day or a blessed night wherever you see this. Bye.